Adventures with Kaity, Season 3, Foodie Friday, fried chicken with buttermilk optional. We're gonna do some buttermilk. Hey everybody, and welcome to Cooking Adventures with Kaity. On today's episode, we are going to be frying chicken. I did not soak the buttermilk, or the chicken in the buttermilk for the 2 to 12 hours, because if I did, it would be too late for me to eat, and I want to eat today. Especially because, well, I'll be fasting from dinner tonight afterwards until Tuesday at some point in time. I don't know when. So I do indeed want to eat tonight. What we are going to do is we are going to do the shaky bag way, but I will be creating buttermilk as something to dip the chicken in before it goes into the flour mixture. So we will be doing the buttermilk. So for those of you who are lactose intolerant, you will see how we can make some buttermilk for our fried chicken. And it could also be used in the future. So go ahead and grab your lactose-free milk and some distilled white vinegar, and and you need a 2-cup measuring cup. Alright, so in the middle of looking for that distilled white vinegar, we are going to remember that we don't have distilled white vinegar. So we are going to use 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, and we'll put that at the bottom of our 2-cup measuring cup. Alright, now the next step is to take your lactose-free milk and put 1.5 cups of it into this same measuring cup. Alright, and then the next step is we are going to take a chopstick, stir this sucker up, and then we're going to let it sit for 5 minutes. And it'll start to curdle a little bit, and that's when we know it'll be ready. Alright, so while we're waiting for that buttermilk to become a thing, I'm gonna give you a little bit of information about fried chicken. So, you can cook chicken in a variety of ways, including frying chicken in a variety of ways, including baking it in the oven. The result is not so much how you make it, but the result is what you want, which classifies it as fried chicken. Alright, so what you want is a juicy, succulent chicken covered in a crispy crust that is not greasy. So now when you're pan frying the chicken, it should go into the sizzling hot fat or oil or whatever you use. And you want to keep an eye on the chicken, turning it several times to make sure it gets an even coat. And the fat that you can use can either be shortening or butter or oil or lard or a combination thereof. So now when you're preparing for fried chicken, you can either keep the fat on or the skin on, or you can remove it. And the skin is the fat of the chicken, or the fattier tissues, I suppose. And you can eat the fried chicken hot or cold. It's just if you cook the chicken and then you keep it at room temperature, it retains the moisture much better than if you put it in the fridge and then reheat it. So there is that as well. And if you whenever you fry the chicken, the crispiness of the crust will retain better if instead of putting it on a rack to dry, you instead dry it with paper towels to remove the grease much quicker. Alright, now the buttermilk marinade if you were to soak your chicken in the buttermilk, it is completely optional, but what it does is it promotes tenderness within the chicken, and Now, ideally, you want to use a seasoned cast iron skillet, because what it does is it allows the chicken to achieve the color that you want without risking burning the chicken, or without charring, excuse me. You want to have a single layer in your pan and fry in batches if necessary, by all means. I only have a couple of pieces, so I should only have to do one batch, depending on how I lay everything out. I had chicken quarters, so I've got 2 legs and then 2 thighs, and probably partial breasts, because it was like a leg and then like all up here. So, and then but I cut that massive thigh into in half. So, you know, I've got a couple of extra pieces of fried chicken. Now, for all of this, that is what's going on. On the Monday Mouthful episode, when David was so adamant about having this fried chicken, he had to leave town. So he's not even here to have some. Ugh. And also, by the way, happy Fried Chicken Day yesterday. Evidently, there's a National Fried Chicken Day, which, okay, that works. Let's see. The milk is discoloring, but I'm going to hold it under some brighter light so I can see what's going on. Alright, so when it comes to your buttermilk, you want your buttermilk to be at the stage of where it begins to clabber. That's C-L-A-B-B-E-R. Now, when it clabbers, what that is that it's at the stage where milk has soured to the point where there is a firm curd, but it's not enough to separate the whey from the milk. So I've been chatting to you for about a couple minutes, and it's been about 4 or 5 minutes, so I'm going to hit pause and take my time getting the rest of this stuff ready, so it will be sufficiently clabbered. Okay? Yeah. Alright, so in your bowl you want to add 1.5 cups of buttermilk, which is what we just made. And see how it's sticking in the glass a little bit, I guess. Alright, and then you want to add 1 teaspoon of salt, if I can get it around to there, so we'll do. Alright, and then you want to do a half teaspoon of pepper. Alright, am I measuring this? No. Am I doing more than I need? Probably, but that's what the measurements call for. Alright, and then now what we're going to do is we are going to put on our gloves and then put the chicken into the marinade real quick. Alright, so we're going to do this. Alright, and this, and I should have grabbed a bigger bowl. Now, and at this time, once the chicken is all in here, you ideally want to let it sit for 2 to 12 hours. But we are not going to do that. So we're just going to put all the chicken in here, and then just kind of pull out the pieces that went in first, and dredge them that away. But in the end, it works out. Beautiful. Alright, so now here's where things get a little bit old-fashioned. You want to take a paper bag or a plastic bag if paper is not in your stock of things, and you want to add 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of pepper, and then some red pepper if you so desire. That is optional. So I went ahead and got everything together. Here's kind of what it looks like. And also a neat tip, if you take your bag and fold the zipper part of it down halfway, it lets it stand up a little bit, makes things a little bit easier, especially if you're doing things either one-handed or by yourself, so then you don't have to worry about holding the bag open while you're trying to shove things into the bag, and it makes it difficult, or it makes it easier so it's not quite so difficult. So we are going to take this mixture, we're going to zip up our bag real quick. And then we're going to make sure it is tight. We're going to shake it up a little bit so all the seasonings get mixed in. And then we're going to add our chicken to the flour before we put it in the pot. Alright, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start getting the fat up to temperature while this sits in the buttermilk, so maybe it'll add to more tenderness than it would if it just kind of sat in there and then went straight into the dredging. So let's get that going. Oh, also something. This right here is the shortening that I'm going to be using. Now, this shortening is made with coconut and red palm oils, so it is vegan, which is nice because it means it is David friendly. And it even says made without dairy, without lactose, and without sweeteners. It can be used in place of shortening for baking or frying, so I can also use this to make some biscuits, which is something that David has wanted for a little bit, but I don't want them to come out wrong, so I haven't made them, but I did make those biscuits for that cobbler, so we'll just have to try and see. And now that we've made buttermilk, maybe it'll come out pretty decent. So, in your pan, you want, what I have here is a 3-quart pan. It is deep, and we are going to place it on the eye. You want a 1/2 inch of shortening or oil for your pan, so I'm going to use a good amount of this, and the rest of it I'm going to use oil. We'll do a mixture and until we can get the amount of fat that we need to cook everything. So let's get that going. Oh, and you want your oven or your stove on medium-high. When it comes to this, there's not a particular temperature, but you know it's ready when your corner of the chicken goes into the fat and it immediately starts bubbling and sizzling everywhere, and you need a one of those shields. So let's get our pan up to temperature and our shortening melted. Alright, so here's a good amount of the shortening. I'll probably put a little bit more so you can see. It is indeed this yellow, and it's actually like quite soft and a little bit weird to scoop because I was expecting it to be more firm like butter. But then again, it has been in our cabinet, and I shouldn't expect it to be firm like I thought it was. So, it smells good though. Alright, so I'm gonna, my oven's a little bit uneven, so I got everything going down towards that end, but I'm gonna do one more good scoop out of this. And we'll see how that is, and then whatever the leftover amount is to reach 2 inches, then I will do the rest with some oil. In the meantime now, for our chicken, the next step we are going to do is we are going to drain the milk, and then we're going to put the chicken into the flour, shake it up, and then it will go into the fat. So let's drain this in the sink. Alright, so then next we take our milky chicken and put everything into the flour. Alright, and we zip everything up and shake it. But shake it like you mean it. And pray to God the zipper don't come undone. You want everything to be thoroughly covered. And my fat in the pan seems like it's ready. So we're going to take a clean glove, slowly pull things out, and put them into the fat. Alright, we have distance for safety. So we know it's ready when that happens. So slowly place your chicken into the fat side down, if you left it on. In a single layer around your pan. Alright, so then we put our lid on and check it in 5 minutes for color and doneness. But we want to cook it about 10, so for this first time round covered. So check it in 5. If it's done, cool. We'll hit that step when we get to it, but if it's not done, just put the lid back on and let it cook for another 5. Alright, so we are 5 minutes in. I don't know how hot these things are, so I'm going to do this. And we are going to lift away. And you want to check for evenness across the board. So we have one that's looking pretty good. One that's looking pretty good. Alright, they're all looking pretty even. Got a couple that are a little bit light compared to the other ones, but that's okay. So, they look pretty good. We're going to leave them for that 5 more minutes to make sure everything's cooked all the way through, and then we're going to flip them and get to that next part. Ow. Alright, I'm going on the nose on this one. We are a minute early, but I'm going to go ahead and flip everything over. This point, we stay uncovered for another 10 to 12 minutes until it's done. So I got my fan on, and hopefully the fire alarm won't go off because smoke. Alright, so we are now at that halfway point. We are going to check the coloring of this side of the chicken, and right now it's at a golden color, not quite as dark as we would like. But all in all, progressing quite well. Alright, another 5 minutes. Ta-da! Alright guys, y'all ready? I am. Alright. So, it's warm. It is warm on my fingers. Okay. Crunchiness. It's not extra crunchy, because we just did regular fried chicken, not extra crunchy fried chicken. So, yes, I agree. Taste-wise, ow, delicious. A little bit hot, but good. I did a good job, guys. It's too bad Dave is not here to verify. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode, and yeah, like, all in all, it was pretty easy. The most frustrating thing for me with frying chicken is normally I do it with oil with a thermometer, and keeping the oil at 350 degrees is a pain, and also slightly difficult, and is also part of the reason why I have a tendency to catch things on fire in the kitchen when frying stuff. So, part of the reason why I kind of don't really do it. So, yes, this is tasty. I like it. It's a good recipe. Would it be better if I had let them soak overnight in the buttermilk? Of course. Yes, definitely. And David's coming back on Tuesday, and my little sister's gonna be here on Tuesday, so I suppose we're gonna be having fried chicken on Tuesday for dinner. So I'm gonna start my fast with fried chicken and break my fast with fried chicken, because that's totally a healthy thing to do, right? Yeah, sure. And I'll give y'all updates on how that's going on Monday with the Monday mouthful. So with that being said, the Monday mouthful, our options for next week for the vote are beef, pork, turkey, or fish. So would you like to see something beefy, or something porky, or something turkey-like, or something fishy? It's all your choice. I mean, you know. And I really appreciate, you know, y'all's fervor with voting. It's fantastic to watch, and just to see how excited y'all get. You're like, oh, I want this, and it's great. Like, I love it, guys. It's amazing. So, with that being said, the Facebook page, Cooking Adventures with Kaity, and the Twitter page at Cook Adventure, I will accept votes on both of those stations, I suppose, both of those medias, as well as in the comments below. So if you think we should do something beef or pork or turkey or fish, then just please do let me know, and it'll go towards the vote for next week, and we'll see how it turns out on the Monday mouthful. So, and I greatly appreciate y'all watching this. And please like, subscribe, and comment, and please do share this video. You have a white girl cooking southern fried chicken, so hey, it works. And hey, I'll see y'all on Monday. Bye, guys. Happy cooking.